when it is like an all-out dramatization.
Yes, separate service.
Yes, and you know what I mean? It's just it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just it like you said, it almost turns into worshiping than it is appreciating.
Absolutely. All right, welcome to another edition of the Church Dropout podcast. My name is Alan. I'm joined by
Lisa.
Church Dropout is a podcast. We talk about issues, topics, and teachings related to faith, life, and culture in ways that are sometimes funny, sometimes serious, but always insightful. If you have not already, please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. That we would appreciate it. So, I want to ask a question real quick, and this is for you guys as well. We had a discussion some time ago. It just popped in my mind.
Did we?
About a game.
Which
You're
one?
like, I don't know which one. Right?
Yeah, which discussion?
But it was about a game that we played when we were kids. I think the kids were playing it when we were on a walk. And I was like, that is not a part of the game. We're talking about red light, green light.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that because one of the kids was like, yellow light. And I was like, there's no yellow light in red light, green light.
Mm-hmm.
There's only red light, green light.
Mm-hmm.
There's no yellow light. There's never a slowdown in red light. So you're serious. So you believe that there was a yellow light.
So let me tell you the story. Growing up, I went to the skating rink every Friday.
Okay.
It was like right around the corner from my house. So we went. That was like the thing every Friday.
Right. We did too.
One of the games that were played was red light, green light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so there was red light. But before you got to red light, there was yellow light. No, literally, it would be like green light. Everybody would go, and then it would be like yellow light. And then that gave you like time to slow down.
No.
And then red light.
Lisa.
And then you had to freeze.
Okay, listen, on skates.
Yes, you need that.
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. That might make sense. Mm-hmm. But historically.
No, because when I used to play with my cousins.
When
I used to play with my cousins. Where did we ever look up on the phone?
No, I didn't. No, we didn't.
I guarantee you.
I didn't need to look it up.
It was never just red light, green light.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Lisa, it was red. That's what you would do. Red light, green light.
But you knew green light was coming next.
That's the whole point. Red light, green light. Red light, green light. That was the whole thing.
Red light,
green light, red light,
green light.
No.
Wait, no, backwards.
See, it don't even sound like.
No, I said it wrong.
Just hold on. Listen. All right. Green light, yellow light, red light, green light, yellow light, red light, green light,
broken toe,
yellow light. You sound like Della Reese on Harlem Nights. You done shot my pinky toe. But there was never a yellow light. It don't even sound right. Okay. So anyway, those of you who are listening, agree with me in the comments.
And we were raised differently, so that could have something to do.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Like, to be honest with you,
Because in certain areas of the world, certain games are played differently.
What you trying to say?
And certain games are played that are not played in other areas of the world.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if that. Well, I guess that's true. I don't know. These games are pretty universal, though. Right? Like, I don't know if there's any other game that that wasn't played the same. I think we had the conversation too about which it's the patty cake song. My sisters and my nieces.
Oh, Miss Mary Mac.
Was it Miss Mary Mac? Because
Yeah.
you have a different version of it, right? Miss Mary Mac. Right. All dressed in black.
Yeah.
With red button was all down her back.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not it though. There's another one. I think it was like Shimmy Shimmy, Cocoa Pop, Shimmy Shimmy, Pow. Anyway, all right, I done forgot now. So, aging ourselves.
I'm sorry, but
all of these were from the 1800s.
I think I would know Mary Mac. I would know that a little bit.
But I got sisters and nieces.
Okay.
And so, we throwing the ball, or sometimes it would just be me, and they doing all of that,
Okay.
So I had to jump in with the double dutch and stuff because I couldn't, I'd be by myself. So I was up there double dutching.
Now that I never did. I could never get double dutch down.
I double dutch, had the football, throwing the football in the air.
You wasn't doing that.
Are you?
Double dutching with the football?
Yes,
throwing
Lisa.
it?
Yes.
Alan,
Listen,
stop.
Lisa,
I will
I
call
used
your
to-
sister right now.
I used to backflip into the double dutch and then front flip out.
What are we talking about today? What are we talking about today?
What's the problem?
Because you over here not telling the truth. Like we tell the boys. You over there telling fibs.
You lying. But anyway, we would love to hear your thoughts, though. Seriously, I know that there was not a yellow light. That's just the crazy. You can't even say it fast. It makes no sense. That's the whole purpose, is to trick people. Red light, green light. You can't go. Green light, yellow light, red light. Green light, yellow light, red light. You know it don't sound right.
You didn't know because you didn't have to say yellow light every single time, but sometimes you would give people yellow light. Like, you know what I'm saying? You would say green light and then you would say red light. Okay, so then they need to stop. But then sometimes you say green light and then you gave them a little time to slow down, then red light. Like,
Lisa, bye. All right, y'all. You just agree with me in the comments. You good. All right, so we are about to get in trouble today.
Okay.
We're about to get in trouble. And we are about to offend people. And I know this is something that's very prominent within the Black church, but it was prominent in churches that we were a part of and stuff. So this is probably going to tick some people off, to be honest with you. It's going to make some people mad. It's one of those topics that, and maybe not the people, I don't know, maybe the leadership, but it's one of those topics that I think, shakes things up.
I think that we probably are going to be talking about things that people have thought about. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But they feel bad.
Absolutely.
So then they just leave it alone.
Oh, absolutely. 100% right, Lisa. So we're going to talk about pastors' appreciations. Pastors' appreciations. And I know it's big tradition in the Black church. Which is interesting because I've worked in multiple church environments.
Yeah.
And in the churches that I've worked in that were predominantly white or white churches. Because I say that like we're the only Black people there. Like,
right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's just clarify that.
Yeah.
They don't do it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't do it at all, right? In fact, I think they would often go to the other extreme where they almost underappreciate the leadership. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about, pastors' appreciations and, pastors' appreciations, depending on the size of your church.
Yeah, probably like the biggest money-making day.
It absolutely is.
The whole
Come on,
church
Lisa.
budget that year.
It is. It is. It absolutely is.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And most churches, they suspend tithes and offerings or whatever your offering preferences, whatever, to do that. And then they announce it leading up to it, which is crazy. And it usually is, yes, there, it's a lot of tax-free money, And I think we should start something called Christian YouTuber Appreciation. Okay. So, super chat.
No. That is just, yeah.
You the first lady?
And I hate that term.
I know. That make you mad.
I hate that term. I hate that term.
I know it'll make you mad. Me too. I do too. Why you hate it so much?
Because and I don't know when we're going to post the last episode we just did, but the same thing. We always love putting labels on everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't want, when I was in that position, I didn't want first lady to put me in a box, and I don't want you to have these expectations because most of your expectations are going to be wrong. You know what I mean? So I just, I don't like that. I just don't like that. And I feel like, it's okay for other women that are okay with being called first lady. That's fine. That's you. But for me, that's just not what I just didn't like that label at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely Yeah, it's one of those labels.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe one day we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So pastor's appreciation. You've already said it. It's definitely one of those days where a lot of money is given over to pastors, depending on how large the congregation
Mm-hmm.
is and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say this, I guess, to even provide a little bit of balance, and maybe this is another podcast
Mm-hmm.
altogether, because somebody did ask the question, and I don't know, maybe I will, and you tell me if I should make it a different podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I'm gonna say two things. The second thing I need it. But the
Okay.
first thing is that I just want to give a little bit of insight into the history of this. Like, where did it come from? Now, there could be multiple sources to this, but I'm telling you where I understood pastor's appreciation to come from.
Okay.
It came from a time when pastors were not able to be paid by the church. So once a year they would do an appreciation in order to bless the pastor and his family, right? Because they were not able to give a salary. They were not able to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so
they had a job outside of the church.
Or-
They had,
yeah, or even if they didn't have a job outside the church, I mean, I don't see how you couldn't, but it was just mainly to, again, because in today's model or today's culture of church, it is work. This is how they would appreciate the pastor, right? We can't pay your salary, but what we can do is just, not, tread the ox, or not take advantage of you and what God has given us. And they would do it once a year, right? And so traditionally, at least in the Black church, that's where what I've understood the pastor appreciation and where it came from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I just wanted to kind of bring that because, again, oftentimes a lot of the things that happens within church culture starts off one way and often ends up being abused. You understand what I'm saying? Like the origins are not always what we think the origins are.
Right.
It's not always, somebody sitting there like, man, how can I get more money on top of my salary? Hey, Deacon, give me some Tang, please.
Some Tang?
Yeah, pastors always drink Tang.
What is Tang?
It's like, you never had Tang, Lisa?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Tang is like, it's a powdered orange juice like stuff. Tang is like,
Why would you
hold
have
on, let me tell you.
Orange juice?
Tang is like, I'm going to say it this way, and I don't know, y'all might not, but Tang is like the ghetto Sunny Delight. Okay. It's like Tampico.
Okay.
But Tang is a powdered form. You just put it in water, you mix it up, and I'm telling you this. Hold on, let me tell you.
Juice.
It's like orange juice, but let me tell you this. I guarantee you had it. The orange stuff you was drinking at the events at church. Like when you were at church in San Jose. You know how you'd had that orange stuff that you guys would drink and stuff like that. Like that was Tang.
You sure it wasn't Kool-Aid?
No, Lisa, I'm telling you, it was Tang.
Okay.
Now the words sound funny because I done said it so many times. Tang.
I'm like, what is Tang?
But I had a pastor religiously who would, that's what he would drink. He would drink Tang. So he'd had his little champagne cup on next to the pulpit with a white napkin on top of it with his orange Tang up in there. And it was somebody's job. So before service, Sister so-and-so would just walk on up there and put the Tang up there.
And then put the little white handkerchief on top of it.
Bless it and we'll move on. But I don't even know how I got there.
I don't either.
But, because I told the deacon to go get the Tang.
Oh.
Okay, but I don't think pastors are sitting down trying to figure out. I don't think all pastors are sitting down trying to figure out ways to make more money. Like, I don't think this didn't start with a pastor saying, how can I get more money on top of my salary?
Right. I see what you're saying.
Right. This was out of, hey, like, listen, how can we help someone who's helping us? And, so not saying it's right or wrong.
What you're saying is pastor's appreciation was not started like by the pastor is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't started by the pastor. And there was a need for it. Right. They were trying to address a legitimate need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And contrary to popular belief, most churches are almost like 98% or 97%. I forgot what the actual number is, but a high percentage. Most churches, almost all churches are not mega churches. Most churches are very small.
Right.
Okay. And so most churches can't afford a full-time pastor. Okay. And so I'm just bringing some balance to the idea as well, in terms of like, hey, even though it is part of a culture that's abusing it, it hasn't always been that way. And on the other side of that too, there's also health to appreciating those who are laboring for the community and laboring for the body, right? Now, again, I think in churches that can afford a salary, and I'm only talking about the way modern church is today. I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not, but I'm just saying churches that can afford a salary, pastor has a salary.
Yeah.
That's the way he's being appreciated. That's the way he's doing what he's doing.
Right.
But for churches that don't, this was one way that they would actually do that.
Okay.
Other churches would do a parsonage, right? Where they'd have a house that's attached to the church and the pastor wouldn't pay rent.
Yeah.
Right. And so, they would be able to live there, and that would be their salaries, that they don't pay for housing. They don't pay for PG&E. They don't pay for those things.
Yeah.
So the church was actually supporting that part of their life because of their service. That was a way that they can give a salary to the church. But that's where a lot of these things, came from.
Okay.
Right. And parsonages also was, pastors were accessible to the people. And so people knew where to go find the pastor if there was a need in the town, need in the community, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But pastoring has changed.
Yes, definitely.
You don't know, now most time you don't know where your pastor lives. You don't know what street he live on. You don't know what city he live in.
Right. I was going to say a lot of them don't even live in the same city.
Yep, exactly. Right. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. You know what I mean?
You were going to say number 2 thing.
Yeah, number 2 is going to be, should pastors get paid at all? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's a separate conversation. Somebody did ask this question. I hadn't answered it yet because I was going to do it in one of our church or dropout comments. But is it wrong to pay pastors?
So yeah, I think we should leave that for a second for another podcast.
Okay.
For like a full podcast, I think that would be a good topic.
Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in to the church. And I think people are starting to think my jokes are corny. You laugh at them though. That's the only thing that matters.
Thank you.
I don't care if they don't laugh. I don't care if you don't laugh.
You're always funny in my eyes.
Yeah, thank you.
Even when you're not funny, you're funny. So don't get mad at me when I'm laughing. When I'm just laughing at you.
You gonna laugh? So I just want to give a little bit of insight into where it all began, right?
Okay.
So I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable, if I could be honest with you. And
talking about this?
No, not talking about it. Well, I guess
what makes you uncomfortable?
I guess to some degree. I'm not talking about it. I think I have a personal bias towards pastors, and I think even within this broken church culture, I have a bias towards pastors. I think pastors. I think a lot of good pastors are getting beat up for bad pastors. Okay?
I agree.
All right. So even if a church hasn't a pastor's appreciation, it doesn't mean that the pastor's crooked.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. But on top of that, I just think that when we have conversations about pastors, sometimes, and this is, something that I think about quite often, even with our channel, it's like, you don't want to make it hard for people who are doing the right thing. Right. But sometimes it's necessary to call out the things as they are. Right.
Definitely.
But it doesn't make me uncomfortable to talk about it. But, a lot of these type conversations for people who aren't balanced will take this and go somewhere that they don't need to go. Right. They'll make it seem as though this is everyone, everything, and see, and all of this type stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So, there is that, but also, again, the pastors who are doing good don't often get the accolades, right? And we would never know they're doing good because they're not the ones chasing the limelight. They're not the ones who are trying to build networks, TV networks in their churches. They're not the ones who are trying to grow their church. They're just trying to serve their people.
Right.
And I think it makes it hard for those pastors. Here's the last thing I'll say, and this may be a little bit off topic, but that's in part why I do what I do with this too, because I think church culture as a whole puts a strain on those pastors. The expectations goes up infinitely because of how we think church should be today.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Where people who are in small churches think that the church is not good, or we know what you mean by churches, but they're in small church communities, or they attend small gatherings, and they think that the pastor in the church is not good because it's not large.
Yeah.
Because that's the culture that has taught people to think that way.
Right.
And that's a problem. So anyway, tangent, squirrel, right. Like when you,
I know what that's from, but you've never even seen the movie.
How you know what I saw?
Because I know you, and I know you've never seen it. You've heard someone else say that.
No, but it's just a common thing, though. It wasn't the first thing, the movie wasn't the first thing to say that.
Yes, it was.
Okay, we need you to put in the comments how I'm right about this as well. Okay, what movie are we talking about?
Look,
you don't even know. See?
No, wait. There you go, squirrel.
South Central?
Definitely. There is no squirrels in South Central.
What you trying to say about South Central? There's no squirrels in South Central.
Squirrels don't come to South Central.
See, you ain't right.
They scared. More like beavers or some squirrels. I mean, not squirrels, skunks.
Lord, that ain't right.
No, I mean, just because you got to be hard,
Yeah, you can't be living
Squirrels ain't hard. Skunks will walk right up to you. They ain't tripping.
Or raccoons.
There you go. That's who I meant. Yeah.
The raccoons.
Yeah.
So anyway, we don't even know what movie it's from, but I know that that's not the first place that it was said.
Okay.
But anyway.
Please tell us what movie it is.
So back to the conversation.
Okay.
I feel like we've been tangenting today.
We have, babe. We really have.
But good tangents. It's good to laugh, not to take yourself too seriously.
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I just think that it's, again, I don't want to make it hard for those who are actually doing it, but I think it needs to be called out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it needs to be talked about and put in its proper perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, I just think that it's a problem. I think, I think it actually reinforces this worship of leaders in today's culture. It reinforces the pedestaling of leaders, as making them more special than other individuals. And again, I'm not talking about appreciation out of need. And I'm not even talking about how the scripture would say that we do honor our leaders. That's not what I'm talking about. Because again, most pastor appreciations today are not done out of need. It's done out of culture and tradition.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
yes.
it's tradition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so again, we're just talking about the practice that is now to some degree being abused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what,
Yeah. So
I know you don't tiptoe.
Well, no, I just think when it comes to pastor appreciations, I think that first definition that you gave of where you were told that's how it was originated, I think that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is these mega churches having them and, holding tithes and offering so that it can just go to the pastor appreciation. Then you have all these different groups. You know what I mean? So
that's not practiced the same way in every church.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
No, but that's why I said just speak freely. This is me. I told you to speak freely, and then I'm okay. Do what you do.
You shushing me.
Yeah, you do what you do.
But I'm just saying, then you have, everybody just kind of giving, to me, I would think like an I don't understand why an appreciation can't be, the children of the church getting together and doing like a, some type of, good thing for the pastor. And then, maybe photos from the year or, like what you would normally do when you appreciate somebody or you know what I mean?
Yes, I get you.
But to me, having, the pastor, I think I saw on one internet thing, the pastor and wife were brought in on chairs, like king and queens, you know what I mean? Coming down the aisle and then lifted up in front of the church, and you know what I mean? And it's just like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so
that's crazy.
To me, that's just a whole nother level. That's just, you know what I mean?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point.
And probably some of their members are, probably having a hard time either paying rent or anything else that they had to pay, because you feel bad if you don't give. Yeah. If you don't give to this appreciation, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just, there's just a lot of things that I've seen, witnessed on, internet and stuff like that, where, just different things are going on at these pastor appreciations. Yeah. And it's like, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we really doing?
Yeah. Yeah. First, let me apologize to you, babe.
For what?
Because I wasn't, I know you were just playing. I wasn't shushing you, but you need to be free. Just, say what you say, babe. Lisa's the straight up one. Like, honestly, I'm always I hold back. Cause if Lisa let go, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know Lisa. We was going to expose this on a different podcast, but I'm telling you, Lisa.
Alan.
You want to tell?
No. Apparently you want to.
Ask Lisa what color she used to represent.
Pink all day, every day.
You if you know, you know. Okay. But yeah, no, honestly, like, I think that's a great point. Like, there's other ways to appreciate people than with money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's other ways to do it.
Yeah.
But then, like you just said, also the extremism of it. And again, going back to the lifting up of people in a way, like carrying someone in. Like, it goes beyond honoring.
Right.
It really does go into worship.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It goes beyond just we're thankful for this individual to this individual is that important that we would actually risk our back to carry people in.
I didn't think you was going to say that. But, that says another thing about the pastor and, and their wife that would be okay with that.
Yes, come on now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would feel so weird about that. Like,
yep.
Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would feel so weird.
You wouldn't be, if people wanted to carry us in, you wouldn't let them?
No, absolutely not, Alan. No.
Listen, I will climb all over that deacon's face. Foot all in his face, hand all in his nostrils. Hey, help me up.
Stop. No, you would not. No, you would not. You would not even allow them. For one, I think.
You know what that reminded me of?
What?
One day we're going to have to tell him the story about when we were at that doctor's house and he
when I went to jump on his horse?
Yes. Oh, Lisa, boy, that was funny.
You might as well tell him. You can't just throw it off. I know. Sorry,
go ahead. We tangented today, but okay. You hanging with us.
So, anyways, we went to this doctor's house for dinner with some, other.
Yeah, it was other church
members. Yeah. So, and so the doctor lived on a ranch. So he had horses and everything, and I'd never been on a horse. A lot of us had never been on a horse. So we were like, yeah, let's get on a horse. So he was showing everybody how to get on and everything like that. And so when it was my turn, and I will tell y'all, because y'all can't see it a lot, but, the Lord has blessed me with a lot of back. So no, I'm just saying, it's real. I can't help it. I got it from my mom. I can't help it.
That's right, girl. Don't deny it.
I accept it. It is what it is. So anyways, he was there to help us get on the horses. So I went and I thought I did exactly what he told us to do. So I went and I flipped my leg over the horse and my leg came back down.
He was there.
And he went to grab my bottom, my butt.
He was trying to hold her up, but then he realized.
He was like,
he realized
he
was trying to
fist up. And he didn't know what
he was trying to change his head, like I don't want to grip, but I'm trying to save her life. Boy, it was funny. We was over there cracking.
Hilarious.
We was over there cracking up.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But
yeah, he was elbow or he was trying.
Yeah.
He was trying, but anyway,
yes, you know. and if he would have, even if he did do like this, like it would have been okay because we knew what there was nothing behind it, you know.
Right.
So, but anyways,
but that's a good point though, Lisa. To bring it back in. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we'll have no more tangents.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't do it. But it does speak a lot to people who would allow.
Yeah, definitely
that to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And let me say something, I guess, in defense of, I don't know if I should, say this, because I don't know, like, I don't even know if this would be a factor. I don't know, and I don't know, I like to bring balance and maybe perspectives to conversations that aren't there, but, I don't know, could this play a negative part in terms of a pastor feeling like, he has to do something for appreciation? You understand? Like, could this be, kind of guilt become, like he has to do something to, for appreciation, to be appreciated? Like, where, it becomes, I don't know, like a bondage, for him. You know what I mean? They have to constantly earn that appreciation. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Mm-mm. I don't understand.
Well, I just think sometimes things like this can, where a person starts to think that they need to do more
because of the appreciation,
right? Okay. You understand what I'm saying? And
so you think that this is that the church giving this is like in a manipulative way?
It could be the church. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be, right? Because churches do use salaries to manipulate pastors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We pay you.
Mm-hmm.
Churches do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So you owe us an explanation, or you owe us this because you're getting paid to do what you do. You know what I mean? It's like, you get paid to do your job too, but nobody can tell you to, you understand what I'm saying? Like, but I'm just saying, like, could it be, kind of become manipulative and guilt driven, hey, if you want appreciation, you want, this, you need to make sure, and he is abandoning his family, not spending time with his family, and leaving in the middle of the night and doing all of those things and taking care of the church more than he's taking care of his home because he needs that appreciation. And maybe this only goes for the pastor who's not getting paid by the church and maybe has appreciation once a year. Maybe that's more for that type of pastor. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's a moot point. You ain't feeling me on that, huh?
No, I just, I can see, I just don't get, if you're a pastor that already does get a salary and a pretty good salary, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that,
Yeah. So this asks the question, should it be done?
Pastor's appreciation?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it's okay. There's nothing wrong with doing a pastor appreciation. I think that's okay. I think that the way you do it, I feel like from what I've seen, people feel obligated to do it. Like they have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when, now if somebody wants to, honestly, I would just say, I don't even know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys?
No, I just feel like there's just a way to do it. It's okay to appreciate the pastor. I don't think anything's wrong with that. When you were a pastor and they wanted to appreciate you, I would be okay with them appreciating you.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with, cards saying thank you for this is what you've done. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Thank you for, maybe, memorable things throughout the year or whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But when it is like an all out dramatization.
Yes, separate service.
Yes, and you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just it like you said, it almost turns into worshiping
Yep.
than it is appreciating.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great point. I don't even know if it would be a factor if it's not for the type of church culture that we have today, right?
Mhm.
If we were talking about,
And sorry to
it's
interrupt
okay.
you.
Go ahead.
And then compare it. Okay, so what is the difference? Why is this something that is heavy in the Black community
Okay.
and not heavy in other communities?
Okay.
Why? Because a pastor is a pastor is a pastor is a pastor. You know what I'm saying? So,
Girl broke that down.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, where is the difference? Why does a Black pastor in a Black community need to be appreciated more than a white pastor in a white community?
Honestly, I think that's a great question, and I could take a stab at that. I got some thoughts on that.
Go
Because one, I think historically, the role that the Black pastor has played in the church,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, from slavery, but
Mhm.
on up,
Mhm.
the Black pastor has been everything to the community,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Usually the pastor was one who knew how to read,
Mhm.
he was the one who, all of the other stuff, right?
Mhm.
Took care of families, helped the church, the way the church functioned in the community before
Yeah.
was much different.
Yes.
Okay. The church
Yes.
was the center
Mhm.
of social life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pastor played a prominent role in that, right?
Mhm.
And again, it may have been birthed out of, the right mindset, the right
Mhm.
desire, right? To bless this person in whatever way they needed to bless this person, right? Because I don't think it was always funds,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
think they would, they would bring food, they would bring, so it was more than just funds. But
Mhm.
I think the way the Black pastor is seen in the Black church,
Mhm.
based on
Mhm.
historical,
History. Mhm.
facts, it just never left.
Mm. Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so the Black pastor is seen as, the representation
Mhm.
of God.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I think that's one difference. And then from my experience in the white church,
Mhm.
the pastor is just another guy. Like it was sobering to me to hear pastors being called by their first name.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Black pastor, you got to call him pastor on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
You never
Mm-hmm.
called him outside of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I would have called my pastor, Black pastor, if I'd have just said, I don't know, whatever the name of the guy is, if I just said Alan,
Mm-hmm.
that pastor would have looked at me like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, don't forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's just a different sense of authority where
Yeah.
in the white church, they call him by the first name.
Right.
I think to a large degree, they err on the other side, is that there's very low appreciation for the leadership, almost too low at times where the pastor is not appreciated. You know what I mean? Now, again.
Now, sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something. I stopped
Now,
you.
I think a lot of it just has to do with social dynamics, and how it all played out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because in the white church, in most, and this is not because, Southern Baptist churches, they have, even white churches have senior pastors, which they have a person who's above all the other pastors. Okay. So this is not just a Black thing, but in most white churches, they have multiple pastors.
Right.
They're all considered pastors and elders.
Right.
They may have a lead amongst equals, but they're all appreciated the same way. Okay. In terms of, where in the Black church, you have other pastors, but only one pastor is appreciated.
Yeah.
Only the lead pastor, the senior pastor is appreciated.
Yeah.
So the rest of the pastors on staff or otherwise are, he does a majority of the teaching and, he's seen as the guy. People expect more from him, but they don't get honored the same way. But I think that has to do with the historical dynamics of, of how the pastor has been seen throughout history. And I think the Black church, in all honesty, has just not evolved scripturally. The way the church existed before was out of necessity. It wasn't always right, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
The conditions of society demanded this.
Yeah.
The pastor had to function outside of his role as leader of the church. You know, like it's just the reality. It had to be that way.
Yeah.
But we just never progressed. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the main difference. You know what I mean? You know, and so, but yeah, like, I don't know. It's just totally different. Like I said, you know, first names, you know, even young pastors, you hardly ever see young pastors in Black communities. It's just, you know, because there's something to maturity in life where you can have someone who's, you know, 20 years old, you know, and they're elder pastor so-and-so, but that's based on knowledge, where the Black church experience is very important. It's high care. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you got to be mature to lead mature men.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so there's a different emphasis.
Yeah.
I'm not talking right or wrong. I'm just talking about it's just different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, I think there's a lot of dynamics, you know, to it. I personally, like, do I think we should have pastors' appreciations? I'm with you. I think there are certain circumstances where we should appreciate our pastors. I think how to do it is the most important thing. Yeah. How to do it. Does it have to be done that way? Yeah. You know, but I think, you know, and I'm talking about the way church is set up today, the way modern culture practices, and this is where I think what I think drives the problem is the way church culture is set up, that to lead in the church today really has become a job. It's not so much of a I just want to make sure that thing wasn't tripping out, but it's not so much of a role. Yeah. It's a job. Yeah. And if you're treating it as a job, right? You know, and you have a salary, that's why you get paid. Right. The way my appreciation at work is my salary. And then I may get a different appreciation when I get a raise. You know what I mean? Yeah. But and you know, there's certain things called bonuses and all of that type stuff. Yeah. You know, but that's generally based on, you know, when you get bonuses, usually you have a lower salary. You know? So again, I just think that, you know, again, I think we got to be careful of this particular practice. I think it does elevate people. I think it puts people in certain places. Is it needed? In most of the places that is practiced, I'll probably say no. And the fact that it's not being practiced holistically between all pastors is part of the problem. That money's not being split up. That money's not going everywhere. It's just being given to one individual. Right. It's elevating that role to a place that I think takes it out of the scriptural, you know, mandate to honor leaders. And like you said, like there's many ways to do it. Yeah. There's not one way to do it. But again, I don't think everybody is just taking advantage of that. I think that, you know, some people don't question culture for whatever reason. Maybe it's beneficial to them. But a lot of those things are just cultural.
I remember at one of the churches that we went to, there was several people that I heard talking about it and not, you know, not wanting to participate, or why are we doing this, but they never brought it to leadership. You know? Yeah. So basically now it's just gossip amongst, you know, the church, instead of, if you feel this way, speak up. You know what I'm saying? Let the church know. You know what I mean? So
no, I know. I know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you know, you have those conversations, or those conversations are brought to you, but it's an interesting dynamic. Yeah. You know, so I don't know how long we've been going, but that might be enough. I'm just seeing if I got anything else that's worth mentioning. Yeah, I think we covered everything. So anyway, we'd love to hear
Yes.
your thoughts.
Yes, definitely. I would like to hear, do you agree with pastors' appreciations? Do you not agree with pastor appreciations? Have you experienced pastors' appreciations? What do you feel about pastors' appreciation?
Because a pastor is a pastor is a pastor is a pastor. Come on, man.
So, but yes, we'd love to hear the comments. Keep the conversation going, as Alan always says.
Yeah, Lisa saying that you were stepping into it, girl. I thought you was going to break it all down.
So please like, rate, and subscribe, and we will talk to you later.
That's it.
Good night.
We out.